Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Running with Scissors. I'm so glad everyone is here. It's like day 3 that I am seeing some of you guys. Glad to see you all back again, though, and chatting it up in our chat today. So if you are new to the channel, please do say hello and tell us where you're from. And we're going to have a fun time crafting today. So glad to see everybody popping in here. We're all watching out for the bad weather down south today, and hopefully all of our crafty friends that are there are able to weather the storms okay. So we are definitely thinking about all of you. Anyway, we've got some giveaways today, and our last project with this month's Stamp Focus stamp set, which is the layered cupcake from Altenew. And I know Teresa's excited about that because she's done with cupcakes. Anyway, hey, these are calorie free, so that's a good thing. Anyway, let me flip over to our announcements so we can get started with today's projects. Okay, so we're going to run through these announcements and the winners, and then we'll be able to get to the project, and it will we'll just keep on going. All right, so just remember today is our last day for the March Stamp Focus layered cupcake. All the products that I'm going to be using today are down below in the description, and I do also have the supply list pinned on the chat. So all of those links are affiliate links, and when you use them, I may receive a small commission at no additional cost to you, and that's how I help support all of the free crafty content that I create for you guys. So I do appreciate it every time you use a affiliate link to shop. So thank you so much. Anyway, so we do have the replay and PDF is now available. So if you weren't able to participate in the live, the replay is available if you had already signed up for the class. If you are interested in the class, you can sign up with the PDF and the replay at a discount, and that is available, as well as just the PDF if you're interested in just grabbing that PDF because you would like to have that for your projects file. Okay, so that is all available now. The sketch starter for the month is closed, and I'll be announcing that winner shortly. We do have a new sketch starter that will start on April 1st. So be on the lookout for that. That's next Thursday. And actually, I won't be live streaming next Thursday. There are 5 Thursdays in April, and I will be taking the first one off. So no live stream next week. Catch a replay, do a project, post something fun on social media instead, and we will catch up on the 8th of April. Anyway, so then the next bit of news is that our April Stamp Focus set is Concord and Ninths Just Because. And I'm encouraging you that if you plan on participating, to not only get the Just Because set, but take a look at the supply list that I have. I don't know if I have that listed down below, but when you take a look at that, if you sign up for the class, do also look at their new turnabout toolkit. It's called Painted Petals, because we'll be using that in May. And I'm going to pop down to my hands here so you can see all of this goodness. Okay, so this is the stamp set we'll be using for April, the Concord and Ninth Just Because stamp set. So there we go. That's what that looks like. And we will be using these colors, grapefruit, actually not grapefruit, we'll be using Stardust, Aqua Sky, and Peacock for the class itself. So there is there's a paper pack that coordinates with the Turnabout toolkit that will give you a sampler of these colors. So, you know, if you get the sampler and you get the Turnabout toolkit and you get the Just Because stamp set, you will be ready to go for both April and May. So in the Turnabout toolkit, this is everything that you're going to get. It comes with the repositionable dots, which is something that I'm always using. Adhesive eraser. If you've never had one of these, this is something really important to have in your stash. It comes with, of course, the Turnabout stamp set and coordinating dies, and the jig that you need for that, some white paper, and the inks. So this is a really great kit. If you are new to Concord and Ninth, you can experience some of their colors. You're going to experience their Turnabout, which is something that they're known for. And it's just going to be really great. So we're going to do this one in May, but you get it all now and you can start experimenting with it. And by the time we get to May, you'll be ready to go with it. So that is May, and or April and May, I should say. So The April class is ready for you to register if you have not already, and the May class will be available about mid-April. So you can sign up for that, or you can try out for the giveaway, because as usual, I'll be doing a giveaway on that. So, hey, let's talk about giveaways. Let's see what's next. Here we go. Okay. So I drew names earlier today for the Stamp Focus virtual class for April. And these were the 2 winners that were randomly selected from all of the entries. There was like 200 and some odd entries. So congratulations to these 2 winners. Do email me with your mailing information and confirmation from this email address, so that way I can confirm your winning and get you hooked up with the class, and hooked up, the top person there hooked up with the gift certificate to Concord and Ninth. That's a $25 gift certificate to Concord and Ninth, and then they're both getting a seat at the April class. So congratulations to those 2 ladies. I hope you guys are watching, and you can send me an email. Okay. For our Sketch Starter Challenge, Beverly S. was randomly selected from all of the players this month, and she will be getting a $15 gift certificate to Altenew. So Beverly, go ahead and email me with that subject line, and I will get you set up with your gift certificate. So congratulations to all of those winners. Let's talk about some cards. I mean, we are just like rolling through everything here. So cards from last week's projects. We had some really great samples. So Sue recently posted these. So thank you so much, Sue. These look really great, and you learned a lot last week for sure. And they look fabulous. I noticed that you did them on a regular A2 size card. So we have 3 cupcakes instead of the 5, but they look fabulous. I think you did a really great job. And she even added in some of the outlines on a couple, just to show you what that looks like, which I think is really great. So thank you for sharing those out on social media, Sue. Let's see who else shared. Oh, Penny also shared, our wonderful friend Penny from Down Under. And this is a awesome card. She did really fabulous using the instruction from last week's class. I think it turned out fantastic. It really does just look like a nice abstract watercoloring. It's really, really great. So thank you for sharing that, Penny. And on to the winner from last week's challenge is Ann Taylor. She was the first one to post a project using the cupcakes and the technique that we learned in class. So there we go. Beautiful. Anne, I think these are awesome. And Anne, I have a question for you. Did you freehand the Happy 55, or is that a stamp? Because I really like it if it's a stamp, but if it's freehand, you are awesome. I could never do something that neat. So Anne is our winner. She will get some cards from this month's Stamp Focus classes, some of the cards that I've been creating during the class. So she actually won earlier in the month as well. So she will get those. She'll get a couple of cards instead of just the one. And I wanted to share another thing. So Penny brought this up yesterday when we were on our live stream together. And this card that she shared out on Pinterest, she also shared it out on Instagram. She tagged it, #Altenew, and they featured it in one of their recent emailings. She was caught by Altenew, and they shared this fabulous project. And she said, "But Nicole, it was your card." I says, "No, it was definitely her card, because she added her own flair with the embossing in the background. She changed up the washi tape. She did some different colors on the cupcake. It is definitely her take on my card, and it is definitely hers to own." So congratulations for getting caught by Altenew, Penny. All right, so there's our case challenge winners so far. So we have one more case challenge for the month, because we've got our projects for today. So if you create today's project, get it posted as soon as you can on social media and hashtag me. You can either hashtag me, #PixelMavensRetreat, or you can tag me at Pixel Mavens Retreat, and I will find it, and whoever I see first, has posted first, will win a card from this week's project. We are going to go into a different way of doing it next month, so that way there's a little bit more of a chance for everyone to participate. Because I know some of you, it's late in the evening, some of you, it's early in the morning, some of you, you're just like getting off of work and you can pop together a card and put it out there. So I wanted to make it a little more fair for everybody. So I'll be changing up the rules for next month. So be on the lookout for that. When we meet again on the 8th, I'll have some good rules. And I'll also share with you a little bit on how you can either hashtag or @tag somebody. So that way you have a better understanding of how to do that and you can make it easy for you guys to do. Okay, so lots of congratulations going around in the live chat. Let's see, what else do I need to catch up on in here? Sue wants more cupcakes. They might come back, you never know. Thank you, Roberta. I do take a lot of time to put together the PDF, so I appreciate it when you guys do download it and use it, because that's what it's there for. It's there for you. All right, so thank you so much for the kudos on that. Let's see. CC ordered the stamp set for next month. Excellent. So, or have you just ordered the cupcake stamp set? Let me know. And there we go. Let's see. Excellent. Okay, so I think that catches us up here. Let me see, where am I in my little, there we go. I have all these little scenes that I can flip to, right, for my hands, for the side view, and they were out of order today. So I'm like, where am I? All right. Okay, so today we're going to do this lovely card. And I called this one, I think in the PDF, I called it like an Emboss Resist Magic. And this is why I call it Emboss Resist Magic, because you see how here it looks like the cupcake is dark, but here it looks like the cupcake is light. That's the magic. Okay, so we're going to do some ink blending over Emboss Resist, and then I'm going to show you how you get that look. All right, this one is super easy. It's great for masculine. I'm actually going to mix it up a little bit. This one, of course, I've got in navy blue, and then I use the Glacier Caves enamel dots with that. Okay, but today I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to do it in green so you can see it. Like, I always go to navy blue when I'm using craft, but so many colors look good with, I mean, every color looks good with craft, right? So I thought, let me pull in another guy-centric color, a nice shade of green, and we're going to use this today. All right, so this is a pretty quick and simple card, and you'll have this one done in no time. And I forgot to get it off. I see Heidi has joined us. Hey Heidi, we haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you there. And I saw Becca pop out there, so glad to see you, Becca. I think she said she might have to leave early, so we'll catch up in a couple of weeks. All right, so here's the cool thing. We're doing a die cut and then just the outline. So this one really doesn't have a lot of stamping going on with it, but there are a couple little tricks that you need to know. Hope that stays. I've got like this pile of stuff over on the side here. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and emboss all of these cupcakes in clear. Okay, so clear embossing so that the brown from this sand paper, not sandpaper, but sand colored paper shows through. Okay, but you see how big this happy birthday is. Let me grab the die. So this is the happy birthday die from Altenew. And actually, if you get the creativity kit, the Layered Cupcakes creativity kit, it comes with this happy birthday die. So that's a nice little kit. It comes with a balloon die cut. It comes with the cupcake die cut. It comes with the happy birthday and then the stamp set. It's a really nice kit. And I think even the frame die. I think there's a couple of, I think this comes with it. Boy, I could be wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you see how big this is? It's large die. And when you are stamping your cupcakes, we're going to do it in a pattern, right? But you don't want it to be so that, like, if you put the happy birthday here, it covers all the cupcakes. It's kind of nice that I've got this like cupcake right here next to the happy birthday so that you can see almost a whole cupcake. So we're going to kind of start off with that cupcake in mind. Like, where is my die going to end up? And where should my cupcake be? So I'm even going to stretch it a little further than I did on the sample and actually put my first cupcake all the way over here. And this is what we're going to base the rest of the pattern on. Okay, so instead of, normally I would say if you're doing a pattern, you're going to start in the middle so you get even spacing all the way around. But this time we really want to see this cupcake with the die cut next to it. So it's important to place this where it's going to be seen the most. All right, so now that we know where that's going to go, I'm going to pop some of my anti-static on here. And like I said, I've been doing it up off of the table lately because then I don't get a whole bunch of powder everywhere. All right. And I've been using a lot more powder now that I've been doing just a brush and the powder in the container. And this is actually just baby powder in here. I'm probably going to switch to cornstarch. Okay, so I don't know if there's any, if it's better, baby powder versus cornstarch. I don't know. Okay, so I've got that all done. I'm going to use Versamark. And we're going to start inking this up. Now I'm doing this freehand, so either I'm going to end up maybe with a couple of cupcakes that don't stamp properly. That's okay. It's just going to be the look. Or I'm going to do that. I guess we'll be turning this over. I've had the dropsies today, guys. What did I drop earlier today that it was like, oh, my waffle this morning. I pre-make waffles and then I redo them in the in my toaster in the morning, and I took it out of the toaster and I just dropped it. All right, and you know, Versamark is sticky, so it just like totally hopped out of my hand. Okay, so this is the first one that I really want to get in place. Yeah, Heidi, it happens to the best of us. You'll never see that on an edited video of mine, but live, you're going to see all the mistakes. All right, so I got my first one on there, and you can actually see that, which is really great. Oh, well, Nancy, apparently my waffle didn't want to be eaten because, yeah. Okay, so I'm doing kind of like an angled pattern. So like I could do a straight up and down pattern, but I really liked the way these interlocked. So I'm going to do my next one up here. Oh, Becca, I'm glad I'm not alone today. All right, and then I'm going to pop another one over here. All right, so every time I'm like re-inking the whole thing because I don't know where the ink is going to end up. All right. So I'm just working my way across. Now I can put my second cupcake here. Oh, Heidi. Yeah, that's always a shame when that happens. Okay, I got to stand up a little bit because I want to make sure that I get this fairly even all the way across. There we go. The sentiment's going to be on here, so it's not going to be super noticeable, but I do want to make sure that it's pretty even, and that seems to be pretty even. All right, so look, I could keep this just like this, right? You can stamp in your Versamark and then let it dry and just get that watermarked look. I mean, that's perfectly cool. But because we're going to be doing that ink blending, we definitely have to seal these in with some embossing powder. So just clear, because we want that brown to show through. And remember, Versamark stays sticky for long enough that I was able to do all of the stamping at once. And any embossing ink that is a good embossing ink will stay wet long enough for you to do a whole panel like this. Okay, so that. Let's see. Yeah, so Heidi, who dropped her ink pad into the or the ink block to the inside of her card, I would have done the same thing. I would have cut it off and made a new card base for it. At least that's better than dropping it on the card front, right? So here we are, coming to life. Oh, I know. Embossing powder melting is just so gratifying. It's like pulling up your masking tape and seeing a white or whatever you have underneath. All right. So just let that cool for a second. Has anyone ever done that before where you've put your hand into your embossing powder before it was completely cool? I did that the other day. I was like, oh, okay. I think this needs a little more. There we go. Steak and roasted asparagus. Is that what you're having for dinner, Heidi? All right, so there we go. And I've got some embossing ink on my mat, but that's not going to bother me. Okay, whoop. See, look, I just changed my screen there because my mouse was in the way. Okay, so I'm just going to use one of my Altenew blending brushes. And I'm using Distress Ink in Vintage Photo. So why am I using Distress Ink and not Distress Oxide? I'm using Distress Ink because I want this to be a nice rich color. A Distress Oxide will end up chalky, and that's not the look that I'm going for here. All right, so right now, this looks really pretty. Again, you could leave it just like this, right? But if you want to do our little emboss resist magic, I'm going to start adding in our color around the edges here. So this is Vintage Photo, like I said. All right, and I'm just going around the edges here. I kind of want to make it lighter in the center. So we're getting there. Now this isn't quite going to do the magic yet. So I need, oops, where's another color? So I like this brown. I think it looks pretty nice, but I'm going to add in some pumice stone to kind of make it more of a gray green. And these colors are going to actually blend together. Pretty nice. And I think this is what really brings out the magic because it's going to darken this up a little bit more. And it's going to make the embossing look lighter than the area that is inked over. All right, so the key here is I need to get enough on here that the color starts to flip. It started to flip here. You see that? As far as color choice goes, it all just kind of depends on the color of your original paper and what your embossing looks like afterwards. So basically you're just wanting to get a color on the outside here that is darker so that it makes the embossing look like it's lighter. Go into the vintage photo again. And as you can see, I'm doing a lot of ink blending in here. It's because I'm really trying to get this area darker so that it does pop. And it's a workout. There we go. So I just kind of want to soften my little center here a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let me grab a paper towel because I didn't grab. And I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off all the excess ink that sticks. See, this excess ink here will stick to the distress. It'll stick to the embossing, right? So now that I've done, I can just come back here and pull that up and you can really see the pattern underneath. So there we go. So see, some places it looks lighter because we've got the darker color behind it, and some places it looks darker. It's magic. There we go. Actually, I should have just gotten a wet towel because it's all kind of messy over there from our blending. So yeah, you can do this with any color, really. You just need to, like I said, you just need to know what your lighter color is and what it's going to look like when it's embossed, and then mess around with some distress inks or other inks that you can use for blending to get it darker, so that way it looks like your embossing is lighter, right? Lots of different ways you could do that. All right, so when this dries, it's actually going to dry a little lighter like this one does, right? When it's dark, when it's wet, it's just looks a little more saturated. All right, hello Denise. Glad you joined us today. If you are late to join, you're definitely going to want to go back to the beginning and either watch that now or later. I did all of our winner announcements. So you might be a winner, and if you are, it would be out there. All right, Heidi has a different question for me. Oh, okay, so Heidi wants to know, I'm on the design team for Altenew, but she wants to know if I'm in any other design teams. And the answer to that is right now, no, I am not. I was on the Imagine Crafts design team last year, but I decided to step away from that this year because it was just really busy between everything that I'm doing with Altenew and my regular job and all that kind of stuff. I decided not to do the Imagine Crafts team anymore. And I've not been approached by any other companies to do any kind of design work. So not that I don't know if I would or not, because time is a big thing for me. And I like to do a lot of different things. And because I'm doing these and I do our virtual workshops and all that kind of stuff, I really like to focus on you guys, not necessarily on being a design team for a company. So there you go. That's the answer to your question. All right, so I popped that onto a card base while we were chatting there. All right, and I'm going to set that aside. So like I said, this card is so easy. I mean, I think I'm kind of milking how long this is taking. It will come together very quickly. So I'm using the, let me pull out the packaging for this. Maybe not. Here we go. The Happy Birthday die from Altenew. All right. And the easiest way to work with this one, of course, is to add on a piece of double-sided adhesive paper on there. So I just happened to pull out the stuff from scrapbook.com. I am a fan of both the scrapbook.com adhesive and the Altenew adhesive. I think they are both equally excellent. So I just pull off the backing and tuck that down onto my cardstock here. And then I'll put my Happy Birthday die down and pop this through my die cut machine. Now I have a Gemini Junior, and I will probably add the metal shim on here just to make sure that it cuts through the extra adhesive, because nothing worse than adding adhesive on the back of here and then you run it through and it doesn't cut all the way through, and then you try to pull up your die and it just becomes a mess. So this is a good way to make sure that it goes through. So my sandwich for that is my Gemini Junior plate, my stamp or my die with my paper, and you see it cut all the way through, or at least all the way through enough, so that's good. And then of course my metal plate. I'm still using my iCrafter self-healing mat. I've had this for over a year and it is still in excellent condition. I'm thinking of getting the scrapbook.com one just to compare. And then on the bottom, I use a Sizzix plate because it's slightly thinner than the Gemini plate. And this particular sandwich works the best with the self-healing mat. I felt like when I used both of the Gemini plates that it was too thick. So, but look, I've had the same Gemini plates for 18 months and they're in like perfect condition. Same thing with my Sizzix plate. It's in perfect condition. They're not even hardly warped. Actually, this one I should just flip over the next time I use it and it won't be warped at all. So there you go. Okay. I knew I wanted to make today's card simple because we had all the giveaways at the beginning. But this one was super simple, but there's nothing wrong with that either, is there? All right. So there we go. Yeah, Becca, how do you like the scrapbook.com self-healing mat? Okay, and Roberta is creating along with us, so we're gonna get to see her project soon. I need something just to stick these on because they're all sticky. Okay, so I'm just trying to get these little bits out of here as I go. The nice thing about the Happy Birthday is that the dot for the I, or the tittle, if you will, is actually a part of the P in happy, so you don't have to worry about losing the tittle. Everything is sticking to me today. It's either sticking to me or falling out of my hands. All right, so I just take my time. You don't want to rip anything. And when you have the adhesive on the back already, sometimes it just likes to be a little extra special. There we go. Okay. All right, so Becca says she used an Amazon no-name self-healing mat and it warped pretty quick. But the scrapbook.com one is still pretty flat. So that's good. All right. There we go. On my bits out here. Okay. So remember, we've got the cupcake over on the side here that we want to kind of keep as a focal point. And then the happy birthday is just going to go in place here. And this is not, like when you look at the die, it's not necessarily like all the way straight across. It can angle a little bit. There we go. All right, so see, look, I did not properly plan this. Fortunately, the two things I have going for me right now, my card is still a little damp and I hadn't pressed down, okay? So I have some redemption there. Let's start by putting the Y in place first. And we've got the embossing on here that it's not going to stick to right away as well. All right, so if you're not quite sure about how it's sitting, you definitely just don't press, and you should be able to lift up a little bit and make some adjustments. Go, like, see that H isn't quite in the right place. And I know that because the little bit right here was like all bunched up. There we go. And now one more slight adjustment, I think. Guys, something is not quite right about the way this is sitting. I don't usually have this much difficulty. See, I jinxed it by saying, hey, this is going to be fast and easy. All right. But look, I hadn't pressed it down. I'm able to still recover. All right, so don't always like assume the worst. Try this one more time. Here we go. All right, so what I noticed was that this was kind of scrunched up here with the R, and it was just not looking quite right with that dotted I, so I needed to just kind of adjust it. A little bit. There we go. There. Were you like holding your breath to see if I was actually going to make that work? And that's it, guys. That and a couple of dots. Now, look, this dark green on the green meadows doesn't particularly match this green here. This green is called Rainforest and it's by Lawn Fawn. But I think that this stretch of green here, and I think this is Minty Mint if it's from Green Meadows. And I think these will look great. And so that kind of mirrors what I did here with the light blue on the navy. So I'm going to do these light green ones over here. So I feel like I've been saying this a lot this week, but groups of 3, okay, you cannot beat a group of 3 in a triangle. So I'm always doing large and small together. Large and small together. All right. And then a medium one somewhere else to finish the triangle. And in this case, it popped over here is really quite nice. And that kind of helps bring this whole thing together. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So it's a triangle. All right. When you're doing your embellishments, whether they are enamel dots or they are sequins, if you're not sure, start with 3 and do something kind of like this. All right. then decide maybe if you want to add some more, that's okay too. Okay. But 3 usually gives you the look that you're going for. When you start going to 5, 7, 9, you know, adding more in there, then it's just too much. All right. 5 sometimes is okay. But I think in this case, like if I was going to do 5, I would have to do, let's see, I'm going to just kind of place these down gently because then I can lift them up again. Okay. So if I were going to do 5, I would do probably a third one here. So I'd have 1, 2, 3. And then over here, I would do a medium and a small. But I think that's too much. All right. So I'll pop this guy off because I don't want it. I didn't press these down, so I can put them back. So there we go. All right. There we go. And poof, we are done with the month now. I told you today was super simple and I was not lying. What'd you guys think? Let's see. I know there's a lot of chat going on here. Pop these guys here and we can just chat for a minute or two. Let's see. Okay, so Heidi needs to get a few more distress inks. You know what, Heidi? I don't have the full set of inks and I have the small ones. I find that the small distress inks are enough for me. Like I don't need the full size pads on them. And I'm okay with that. And I like, because you can get these like in the little groups of 4. So getting like a set of them that have like some browns and blacks in them for doing this kind of work, like a distressy, an actual distress look, is really nice to have on hand. So yeah, I mean, just looking into getting the cubes instead of the full size ones, because obviously you're saving money, you're saving space, and you can get more of them. All right. And I still don't have the full set of them. All right, let's see. Yeah, so the scrapbook.com, the magic mat, I'm thinking of getting that. And let's see. So nobody knows Ms. Tamp's first name, and that's just fine. She can remain anonymous. That is okay with us. So let's see. So Becca, I got to ask you, the cutting machine review, that they don't last longer. Is that the magic mat or just that the price is good? What was the deal on that? Oh, and it's still on the deal. So Ms. Tamp, I might have to go pick that up because if it's still on sale, then I might have to get it. And yeah, you guys need to play the challenge. So the first, we will come out with a new challenge and you guys can play along with us. And Denise is going to catch up and see how I did the background cupcakes. So that's it, guys. The chat is being kind of funky for me, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. I'm not seeing any more chat. It says I'm disconnected. And I'm like, I'm the host. How can I be disconnected from the chat? Anyway, I told you guys it was going to be quick and simple today. And sometimes that's a good way to end the month, right? So thank you so much for stopping by. And actually, it's quarter, so we've been together for almost an hour. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for so much for joining me this month. I really do appreciate every time you guys choose to spend an hour of your day with me. It really means more than you could ever know. So I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to click on that like button so that YouTube knows that you like this content and you'll see more of it in your feed, and to let them know to show me to more people in their feeds. You can also share out this live stream to groups and chats and things like that, places where they allow you to share out stuff like this so that more people can find out about all of the crafty goodness that we have here almost every Thursday. So I will, just as a reminder, we're not live streaming next week because there are 5 weeks in April. So I'm taking next week off. Do some crafty work on your own. Oh, actually, the challenge will be up. So maybe instead of live streaming with me next Thursday, you could go out to the latest challenge out on my blog and join in on that and give that a try. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful crafty 10 days, I guess. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Let's hope that everyone makes it out of all of the bad weather here in the States okay. And we will see each other in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I do appreciate it, like I said, and I will be back soon. So until then, happy crafting.